Good day, guys. So for this video lecture, let us discuss Chapter 7, which is your oscillations. So this is just repeating back and forth motions around an equilibrium position or yung center line natin or origin. Tulad nitong nakikita nyo dito na pendulum. So madami tayong klase ng oscillations, pero we will just be discussing simple harmonic motion dito. So let us discuss simple harmonic motion. So as you can see here, no, we have an object that is moving from one point to another continuously and repeatedly. So yung dulo-dulong position na yan is hindi nagbabago. Kaya siya tinatawag na simple. Kasi nga, mas simple siyang i-analyze pagka ganyan. And then, periodic din siya. Meaning, the motion is repeating in equal time intervals. So doon nanggaling yung pangalan na simple harmonic motion. Ngayon, lapat natin itong motion na to in an axis, say an x-axis, no? So yung dulo-dulong points na inaabot niya are our xm and negative xm, which are called our amplitudes. So yung subscript na m just means maximum, okay? So ayan yung pinakamalayong nararating ng object natin relative to the center or our equilibrium point na 0. Ngayon, let us just once again introduce a quantity na diniscuss na din natin dati, no? Which is our frequency. So, eto yung bilang kung ilang full oscillations meron tayo sa isang segundo. So, yung isang full oscillation is 1 cycle. So, kung nagsimula tayo sa negative xm, then napunta tayo sa xm, tapos pabalik sa negative xm, then that is 1 full oscillation. So, yung unit natin dito is hertz, no? Which just means 1 complete oscillation per second. Tapos, eto yung equation natin para dyan. So, familiar yan guys, di ba? Kasi, diniscuss na din natin to dati sa rotational tsaka circular motion. And applicable lang siya ulit dito. Then, we also have your period, which is just the time required for one full oscillation. So, reciprocal lang to ng frequency. So, period is given usually as time only. So, pag sinabing meron kayong period na 5 seconds, ibig sabihin natatapos yung isang oscillation ng 5 segundo. So take note lang pala na itong omega dito is not the angular velocity, but instead it is called the angular frequency. So itong simple harmonic motion can be modeled like a projection ng uniform circular motion. Ibig kong sabihin, pag tinignan natin to sa side, para siyang simple harmonic motion. So ito, top view. Ito naman, parang side view niya. Okay? Ngayon, pagagalawin natin yan. So etong red na line na to is our x, no? So pagka tinignan natin sa circular motion, ayan yung horizontal distance ng object relative to the center. Sa simple harmonic motion naman natin, ayan yung position ng object relative to the equilibrium point or the zero. Pagalawin lang natin ulit ng onte, no? Tapos pause natin. So again, etong red na line is our x. Ngayon, drawing tayo ng lines from the center para makagawa tayo ng triangle. So, di ba itong radius ng circle natin, xm lang din yan. Tapos, pwede din natin kunin itong ginalaw or inikot ng object natin angularly. So, this is our angular displacement or position. Pero let's say, alam natin yung angular velocity, tsaka the time it took for us para mapunta dito. Di, we can take the displacement or position in terms of our angular velocity and time. So, this is omega times t. Okay? And kung omega t yan, di ba, omega t din to. So, tama yan, di ba? O ngayon, since alam natin na itong angle na to, tsaka yung hypotenuse ng triangle, which is yung xm, edi pwede na natin kunin yung x. So, yung x is just xm cosine of omega t. So, ang problema dito, pagka ayan yung ginamit mo, positive value yung makukuha mo. In our case, looking at the simple harmonic motion sa baba, yung object is nasa left side ng 0. So, it should be negative. Hence, kailangan natin na mas general yung equation for x such that tama din yung direction natin para tama din yung signs kung negative man or positive yan. So, paano natin yan gagawin? So, kailangan guys that we locate our initial position from the positive x-axis. So, ano yung angular position ng object natin initially from the positive x-axis? Di ba ito yan? So, let us denote this as phi. So, tinatawag to na phase constant. So, in our simple harmonic motion, sinasabi nito kung asan yung object in its oscillation at time equal to 0. So, basically, siya yung nagsasabi kung asan siya dito sa axis natin initially. Then, i-add lang natin yung dalawang yan para makuha yung angle na kakailanganin talaga natin. So, ito yung angle na makukuha natin. Okay? So, ito yung magiging total angle na gagamitin natin instead na omega t lang. So, ito, tinatawag natin siyang phase. So eto na ngayon yung magiging general equation natin for the position. However, looking at this in the context of simple harmonic motion, again, yung omega is not the angular velocity. Kasi nga, in reality, simple harmonic motion is not circular or rotational motion. So, minomodel lang natin yan from circular or rotational motion. So, angular frequency ang omega. We are just borrowing the word angular because of this relationship. Pero take note lang din na yung magiging units niya is still the same. Most of the time, yung omega natin is still in radians per second. Okay? Ngayon, kunin naman natin yung velocity ng object natin anywhere as it oscillates. So, di ba, ito yung general equation natin for the position or the displacement. Now, let us recall the equation for velocity. So, that is dx over dt. So, we will just be taking the derivative of position x na nakuha natin kanina. So, ayun yung nasa taas, no? Pag dinifferentiate natin to, ito yung makukuha nating equation. Kunin naman natin yung general equation for our acceleration anywhere as our object oscillates. So, ito yung general equation natin for velocity. Then, recall lang din natin yung equation for acceleration. So, that is dv over dt. So, differentiate lang natin itong velocity natin sa taas. So, ito yan. Okay? Differentiating guys, ito yung makukuha natin. So, di ba, sa equation na to, yung xm times cosine omega t plus phi is just your equation for position x. Di pwede natin tong i-simplify further. Our a therefore is equal to negative omega squared x. Let us discuss these quantities further, no? So let this oscillate muna, tapos pause natin sa negative xm. Okay? So at this position, our velocity is 0 kasi it will momentarily stop bago siya bumalik. Pero yung acceleration natin is at a maximum dito. So directly proportional yung position sa acceleration. So habang lumalayo tayo sa equilibrium point or our center which is at 0, so lumalaki din yung acceleration natin. Contrary to this, yung velocity naman natin baliktad. So it is inversely proportional naman to our position. Ibig sabihin, the more na malayo tayo, the lesser the velocity. So igalaw naman natin to papunta sa gitna. So dito naman, our acceleration is 0, pero our velocity is at a maximum. Dito kasi, as it reaches the maximum velocity, mag-i-start ng babagal yan. Kumbaga sa position na to, our acceleration will start to shift direction na as the object moves to the right. So kumbaga, ito na yung inflection point natin. Okay? So let us resume the motion. So at this position naman, katulad lang din dun sa negative xm, our velocity is 0, pero our acceleration is at a maximum. Siyempre, to the left lang yung direction ng acceleration kasi nga, as I said earlier, it is always towards the equilibrium point. Okay? Ganun siya guys. Okay? Let us also take a look at our motion graphically. So we have here your displacement, velocity, and acceleration time graphs. So looking at our graphs, sinusoidal lahat, no? And tama lang kasi our equations are all equations for sinusoidal curves. So let us look at our simple harmonic motion and yung respective points niya sa mga graphs natin. So start tayo dito sa xm. Again pag nasa amplitude xm tayo, our velocity is 0 and our acceleration is at a maximum. Negative nga lang yung acceleration. Moving to the center, yung velocity natin is at a maximum and our acceleration is 0. Yung velocity natin, whether that is negative or positive, is dependent sa direction ng motion natin. And then, moving to negative xm, velocity is 0 and acceleration is at a maximum pero positive na siya ngayon. Okay? So, di ba, yung motion natin is a back and forth motion. And di ba from our discussion on dynamics dati, we said that there should be a cause dun sa change sa state ng motion ng object. Di ba merong acceleration yung object sa kahit sang position dito sa oscillation niya. So there should be a force that will produce such acceleration. So etong force na to guys is tinatawag natin na restoring force. So taking a look at this position ng object natin, di ba, our acceleration is at a maximum. Meaning, our restoring force should also be at a maximum. So going back to our dynamics, no, specifically sa Newton's laws of motion, F is equal to ma. So in this case, na nasa amplitude tayo, A is just A max. Ngayon, yung A, di ba, is just negative omega squared x. as discussed earlier. So pwede nating palitan yan. So force then is equal to negative m omega squared x. Okay? Pagka tumingin naman tayo dito, so if our position is in between the center and the amplitude, syempre yung A liliit, consequently yung F liliit din. Okay? Moving to the center, syempre our acceleration is 0, therefore walang restoring force dyan. Moving to XM, parang sa negative XM lang din, kaya lang pabaliktad na yung direction. Pero ano ba talaga yung nagge-generate sa force na yan? So it also comes from the system itself. For example, our simple harmonic motion can be typically modeled ideally like a spring block system as such. So tinatawag to na linear simple harmonic oscillator, or in short, linear oscillator. Linear meaning our force F is proportional to our position X. So meron tayong spring dito with a stiffness coefficient K or a spring constant K. So ayan yung nagsasabi kung gaano kahirap i-deform yung spring. Pagka nasa equilibrium point yung object, that means the spring is at its original length. Pero yung object natin is currently at negative xm, no? Meaning the spring is deformed by this much. So negative x yan, or to be more precise, negative xm yung deformation na yan. Okay? So going back to your elasticity, dinedenote natin dati si deformation as delta L. Pero ngayon, x yung notation natin dyan. And di ba, meron tayong restoring force. So at the amplitude, that is F max. Sabi ko nga, di ba, this can be computed using your F is equal to MA or negative M omega squared X as shown here. But again, going back to your elasticity, specifically sa Hooke's law, so merong force na nagkakos ng deformation X natin. And that can be solved using this equation. So the restoring force pala can also be solved using this equation, hindi lang yung mass times acceleration. So the force that we solve using both these equations should be equal, no? Therefore, we can say that K is equal to M omega squared if we are to equate them. Moving to the center, since original length yan, edi walang deformation, wala ding acceleration, no? So naturally, there is no restoring force. Then moving to XM, our spring elongates by X, or again, to be more precise, since nasa dulo siya, it elongates by XM. Then we have a restoring force dito that can be determined using both the equations sa taas. So this K is equal to M omega squared can be rewritten to derive the equation for our angular frequency. And eto yan, no? So that is the square root of K over M. Yung period, pwede din nating makuha. So di ba that is just 2 pi over omega. Then substituting omega, which is square root of K over M. So ito yung makukuha natin. So let us have an example. So sabi dito, a block whose mass M is 680 grams is fastened to a spring whose spring constant is 65 newtons per meter. The block is pulled a distance x equal to 11 centimeters from its equilibrium position at x equal to 0 on a frictionless surface and released from rest at t equal to 0. So letter A, what are the angular frequency, the frequency, and the period of the resulting motion? So unahin natin dito yung angular frequency omega, okay? So our equation for this is square root of K over M. So we know the value of both K and M, no? K natin is 65 newtons per meter, M naman is 680 grams. Pero kailangan natin itong i-convert into kilograms para consistent yung units natin. So substituting values, so we have here square root of 65 divided by 0.68. And omega therefore is equal to 9.7769 radians per second. Now, let's solve for frequency. So, ilang full oscillations meron tayo sa isang segundo? So, we just have to divide omega by 2 pi. So, that is 9.7769 divided by 2 pi. So, our frequency is equal to 1.556 Hertz. And lastly, yung period, no? So, reciprocal lang to ng frequency. So, that is 1 over 1.556. So, sagot natin is 0.6427 seconds. So, ayan yung time na kailangan natin for one full oscillation. Next, we have letter B. So, what is the amplitude of the oscillation? So, di ba, ang sabi, from the equilibrium position x equal to 0, ayan, so hihilain natin yan to a distance of 11 centimeters. And then, i-release natin yan. So it would just move back and forth from x equal to 11 to x equal to negative 11, no? So basically, ayan na din yung amplitude natin. So our answer for letter B, therefore, is 11 centimeters. Okay? Let's proceed sa letter C. So what is the maximum speed Vm daw of the oscillating block? And where is the block when it has this speed? So recalling our equation for the velocity, so we have here omega xm sin omega t plus p. So tinanggal na natin dito yung negative kasi speed naman daw. Okay? So 'di ba sabi natin kanina, nagkakaroon tayo ng maximum velocity every time the object is at the equilibrium point or at x is equal to 0. So ganito gagawin natin. So let us recall our equation for position and then equate natin siya to 0. So we have here 0 is equal to xm cosine of omega t plus p. So for us to satisfy this equality, so dapat yung right side maging 0 din, di ba? So we can do that if yung cosine omega t plus p is 0. So yung xm kasi constant na yan, di ba? With a value of 11 centimeters. So di na natin pwedeng galawin yan. So basically, cosine omega t plus p should be equal to 0. Ngayon, anong value ng phase natin ang magpapa-0 dito? So that is just 90 degrees or 1 rad. O ngayon, etong phase na nakuha natin is the phase that we will be substituting sa velocity equation natin para makuha yung maximum velocity. So substituting our phase na 90 degrees or 1 rad sa sine function will equal to 1. Therefore, our max velocity Vm is equal to omega xm. So recall lang natin na our angular frequency omega is 9.7769 radians per second solved previously. Okay? So substituting values sa equation natin, we will have here Vm equal to 9.7769 times 0.11. So our maximum speed therefore is equal to 1.0755 meters per second. And it is at x is equal to 0 if it has this speed. Okay? Sagutan din natin si letter D. So what is the magnitude Am of the maximum acceleration of the block? Recall lang din natin yung equation natin for acceleration. So this is omega squared xm cosine omega t plus p. So tinanggal na natin yung negative kasi magnitude naman eh. Yung numerical value lang yung kailangan natin. Okay? For maximum acceleration naman, di ba nagkakaroon tayo nito if we are at the amplitude. So our x is equal to xm. So recalling the equation for x, no? Tapos equate natin to sa xm. So we have here xm equal to xm cosine omega t plus p. So for us to satisfy this equality, our cosine omega t plus p should be equal to 1. Okay? Ayan siya guys So ano ba yung kailangang maging value ng phase natin such that this cosine function will be equal to 1? So that is just 0. Okay? Etong phase na to ngayon ang gagamitin natin for the equation for acceleration para makuha natin yung maximum acceleration. So substituting 0 sa cosine function natin, that is equal to 1, di ba? Therefore, our maximum acceleration am is equal to omega squared times xm na lang. Again, recalling the value of omega, so that is 9.7769 radians per second. Then substituting values, so we have here am equal to 9.7769 squared times 0.11. So our maximum acceleration therefore is equal to 10.5147 meters per second squared. Next, kunin naman daw natin yung phase constant phi for the motion. So, di ba, ito yung nagsasabi kung nasaan tayo initially or time equal to 0, no? So, from that, we can use the t equal to 0 and our initial position na xm, which is equal to 11 cm to solve the phase constant. Okay? So, recalling our equation for x, so that is xm cosine omega t plus v. So, ano ba yung position natin at time equal to 0? Di ba that is xm? So, substitute natin yan sa x. And again, para masatisfy natin itong equality na to, our cosine omega t plus p should be equal to 1. So, dapat ganito siya, di ba? Then, as I said, if we are at the beginning of our motion, then we are at t equal to 0. So, pagka naging 0 yan, then our phase will just be our phase constant phi, no? So, we now have here 1 equal to cosine phi. So, what is the value of phi? That will give us a value of cosine phi equal to 1. So, that is 0 rad, no? So, ayun na ngayon yung phase constant natin. And last problem, no, for this example, so kunin na lang natin yung displacement function x natin for the spring block system. So again, our equation for x is xm cosine omega t plus v. And recalling yung mga values na nakuha natin kanina, so we have here xm equal to 0.11 meters, omega equal to 9.7769 radians per second, and v equal to 0. So substituting values, makukuha natin dito yung displacement function natin, specific for this spring block system. And this is x equal to 0.11 cosine 9.7768t plus 0. So for every instant of time, pwede na nating masolve yung position ng object natin as it oscillates. Okay? Sige, sagot pa tayo ng isang example. So sabi dito, at time equal to 0, the displacement x of the block in a linear oscillator is negative 8.50 centimeters. The block's velocity v then is negative 0.920 meters per second. And its acceleration a is 47 meters per second squared. So letter A, ano daw ba yung angular frequency omega of the system? So to start, let us first recall lahat ng equations natin for the quantities x, v, and a. So ito yan. Okay? So di ba given sa atin yung mga values ng position, velocity at acceleration at time equal to 0. So let us plug this in sa mga equations natin, pati na din yung time natin na 0. So for position, we have here negative 0.085 equal to xm cosine phi. For our velocity, we have here negative 0.920 equal to negative omega xm sine phi. And for our acceleration, we have here 47 equal to negative omega squared xm cosine phi. So ganito yung gagawin natin dito guys, no, para makuha natin yung angular frequency omega. So titingin tayo sa equation natin for position tsaka yung equation natin for acceleration. At time equal to 0. So di ba etong negative 0.085 is equal to xm cosine phi. Eh di ba looking at our acceleration equation, meron tayong xm cosine phi dyan. So pwede natin siyang palitan to negative 0.085. So that will be 47 equal to negative omega squared times negative 0.085. Rewrite lang natin yan, no? Then solve natin sa omega. So our angular frequency therefore is equal to 23.5147 radians per second. Letter B naman. So what are the phase constant phi and the amplitude xm daw? So balik lang natin yung mga equations natin kanina. Ngayon naman, tingin tayo sa equations natin for position and velocity at time equal to 0. So consider muna natin itong equation natin for position at time equal to 0. Okay? So kunin lang natin yung xm from this. So xm is equal to negative 0.085 over cosine phi. Ngayon naman, taking the equation for velocity at time equal to 0 and substituting the xm sa equation na yan for this one, we get here negative 0.920 equal to omega times 0.085 over cosine phi times sine phi. So recall lang guys that our omega is 23.5147 radians per second. Tapos etong sine phi over cosine phi din is equal to tangent phi. So substituting those, we have here negative 0.920 equal to 23.5147 times 0.085 tan phi. So pwede na ngayon tayo mag-solve ng value ng phi. So meron tayong dalawang value ng phi dito na pwedeng makuha, no? So etong negative 24.716 degrees or etong 155.284 degrees. So kung ano man yung magiging sagot natin dito will depend on the amplitude na masosolve natin using these two values. So unahin natin etong si negative 24.716 degrees, okay? So substituting this value sa equation natin for position at time equal to 0, so ang makukuha natin na amplitude is equal to negative 0.00936 meters. Para naman sa 155.284 degrees, amplitude natin is positive 0.0936 meters. So dito, ang gusto natin are positive values. Although, if we are to consider both of them and use them para makuha natin yung function ng position or displacement, velocity, tsaka acceleration, tama pa din silang dalawa regardless, no? Pero para lang mas proper kumbaga, we want positive values, no? Therefore, ang sagot natin dito is a phase constant equal to 155.284 degrees and an amplitude equal to positive 0.0936 meters. Let us also discuss energy in simple harmonic motion. So again, no, we have here an oscillating object. So pagalawin lang natin to and then pause natin siya at the equilibrium point. So di ba at this point, if our object is located at the equilibrium position, so wala tayong acceleration and the velocity is at a maximum. So what does that mean pagka energy yung pinag-uusapan natin? So that means our kinetic energy is also at a maximum. So balikan lang natin yung equation natin for kinetic energy. So that is KE equal to 1/2 mv squared. So if we want to solve for KE max, we just use Vmax dito. Okay? So moving to XM, iba dito, our velocity is 0 and our acceleration is at a maximum. Ibig sabihin guys, edi wala na din tayong kinetic energy, di ba? So KE is equal to 0. Pero saan napunta yung energy? So it is actually stored, no? So yung kinetic energy from earlier is transformed into potential energy. So in this position, our object has a maximum potential energy. Pero sir, paano nagkaroon ng potential energy dyan? Eh wala naman tayong height difference sa bawat position na dadaanan ng object. Eh kasi ang tinutukoy mo is gravitational potential energy, no? Eh meron pa naman tayong ibang klase ng potential energy aside from the gravitational potential energy, and that is the elastic potential energy coming from your springs in systems like your linear oscillators. So introduce na natin dito yung elastic potential energy, and our equation for this is just 1/2 kx squared, wherein yung k is the stiffness coefficient ng material natin or the spring constant, and x is the deformation. So dito sa XM, maximum yung potential energy natin kasi pagka nandito siya, maximum yung elongation ng spring sa system natin. Also, di ba, when we discussed our restoring force, sabi natin, pag yung object is at the equilibrium point or the equilibrium position, then that means we don't have deformation on the spring. So x is 0, therefore, our potential energy at the equilibrium position is 0. Ngayon, pagalawin natin siya papuntang negative xm. So dito, ganun lang din, no, tulad sa XM. Our kinetic energy is 0 kasi velocity natin is 0 and our potential energy is at a maximum kasi ayun yung maximum na i-shorten ng spring sa system natin. So you also have to take note that our mechanical energy E is always the same. So constant siya. So kahit nasan yung object in its oscillation. And this is always KE plus PE. So the value of RE is the same all throughout. Pero yung composition niya or what energy it is made up of is paiba-iba. Depende sa position ng object in its oscillation. So as you can see here, yung KE at PE natin, paiba-iba yan. Depende sa position niya. At XM and negative XM, our E is purely potential energy. Pero at the center, it is purely kinetic energy. So kahit nasa ang position ng object natin, aside from our amplitudes and the equilibrium position, yung total mechanical energy natin is meron siyang kinetic at potential energy. O sige, sagot tayo ng example. So sabi dito, many tall buildings have mass dampers which are anti-sway devices to prevent them from oscillating in a wind. The device might be a block oscillating at the end of a spring on a lubricated track. So if the building sways, say eastward, the block also moves eastward, but delayed enough so that when it finally moves, the building is then moving back westward. Thus, the motion of the oscillator is out of step with the motion of the building. Suppose the block has mass m equal to 2.72 times 10 raised to 5 kilograms and is designed to oscillate at a frequency f equal to 10 hertz and with amplitude xm equal to 20 centimeters. So, disclaimer lang, no, regarding this example. In reality, yung mga mass dampers natin are damped oscillators and are not in simple harmonic motion. So when we say damped, papigil yung galaw nila, no? So palit ng palit talaga yung displacement ng mass dampers natin relative to the equilibrium position. Kasi say, hypothetically speaking, yung mass dampers natin follow a simple harmonic motion. Then this means na kahit tumigil na yung ground shaking caused by an earthquake or swaying caused by the wind, so yung mass damper natin is patuloy pa din sa paggalaw. Kung ganyan yung mangyayari, no, edi mafe-feel din yan ng buong structure, di ba? Edi para magkakaroon lang din ng vibration sa loob, edi pangit yun, di ba? Pero sige, no, in this example, titignan lang natin tong mass damper natin as an ideal oscillator, wherein nako-conserve yung mechanical energy niya. So yung E natin is just the same all throughout. So letter A, what is the total mechanical energy of this spring block system? So eto yung spring block system natin, tas meron siyang amplitude na 20 cm or 0.2 meters. So gagawin natin dito para ma-solve natin yung E. So ipwesto muna natin yung block natin at the amplitude. So dito sa negative 0.2 or dito sa 0.2. So pag pinesto natin yung block natin at the amplitudes, our mechanical energy E is just the maximum potential energy, which is your PE max, no? Ayan. So once na makuha natin yung PE max, edi alam na din natin kung ano yung E, di ba? So di ba guys, we will be using E is equal to PE max to solve for our E. So our elastic potential energy is equal to 1/2 kx squared, pero since maximum potential energy tayo, our deformation is xm. Ngayon, para ma-solve natin 'to, kailangan muna natin ng K, kasi di yan given sa atin, eh. So as discussed, K is equal to m omega squared, and recall lang, F is equal to omega over 2 pi. And rewriting this, omega is equal to 2 pi f. Then, let us substitute omega to 2 pi f. Then, our equation for K will then be m times 2 pi f squared. Okay? Ngayon, palitan na lang natin yung K sa equation natin for energy. So E then is equal to 1/2 m times 2 pi f squared xm squared. Then, substituting values given sa problem. Ayan. So our final answer will then be 2.147 times 10 raised to 7 joules. Ayan. Okay? Okay, next problem. So ano daw ba yung speed ng block as it passes through the equilibrium point? So yung equilibrium point is just at the center, no? So at x is equal to 0. Diba ang sabi natin, the velocity is at a maximum dito, and consequently, yung kinetic energy dito is also at a maximum. Ibig sabihin, yung total energy, yung total mechanical energy natin pagka nandito yung block is just the maximum kinetic energy. So yung E, nakuha na natin kanina, no? And that is still the E na gagamitin natin dito. So kinetic energy is just 1/2 mv squared, no? Pero in this case, since maximum tayo, then this is 1/2 mv max squared. So recall lang natin yung nakuha nating E kanina. So that is 2.147 times 10 raised to 7 joules. So salpak lang natin yan dito sa E. Then let us also substitute the given value of m from the problem dito sa equation natin. So we are left with just V max, no? So solving for the value of V max, we get 4 pi meters per second. So ayun na yung sagot natin. Okay? Now, let us briefly discuss simple pendulum. So ang isang pendulum is an object na nakasabit sa isang fixed point and nagsiswing siya back and forth with the influence of gravity. So etong simplified pendulum, idealized model siya ng isang pendulum wherein yung mass ng object natin is just concentrated at a single point called the bob. Yung nakakonekan niya na string is light, so negligible yung mass, tapos inextensible din siya. So di siya nag-i-stretch, no? Wala ding influence from external forces, so walang friction or air resistance na nag-act sa kanya. Tapos periodic siya. And it always reaches the same height every time it swings. So pagka ganyan, edi simple siya. Kasi nga, madali siyang i-analyze katulad nung sa simple harmonic motion. Ngayon, patigilin muna natin itong pendulum na to at the highest point that it can reach as it swings. Tas, lapag lang natin dito yung mga kailangan natin. Una is our L, which is the length of the string na naka-attachan niya. We also have here the weight ng object denoted as Fg, which is our force due to gravity. Ito naman yung center line natin or center point or equilibrium position. So from the center line to the string, meron tayong angle dyan. Ayan. So that is just our angle theta. So ayan lang yung ginalaw kumbaga ng object natin angularly as it swings, no? Relative to the center line. Siyempre, we can also determine this one. So ito naman is yung linear na ginalaw ng object natin as it swings, again, relative to the center line. So this is our arc length S and equal lang siya sa L theta. Ngayon guys, etong Fg can be broken down into components that are acting tangentially and radially sa pendulum. So this is our Ft, which is our tangential force, and our Fg cosine theta, which is our centrifugal force, which is just a pseudo force, no? So ang importante sa atin dito is yung Ft, kasi this acts like our restoring force dito sa simple pendulum. So etong angle na to guys is theta, no? then that means this angle is also theta. Now, let us derive three equations na importante sa atin when we solve simple pendulums. So, our angular frequency, period, and frequency. So, start tayo sa arc length natin na S equal to L theta. So, ang gusto natin gawin is tingin lang tayo ng very, very small na arc length. And if we do that, syempre, the angle will also follow. Our angle should also be very, very small. Therefore, yung S natin magiging ds and our theta will become d theta. Now, what we want to do is take the second derivative of our arc length with respect to time. Ngayon, etong second derivative ng x with respect to time, tsaka etong second derivative ng theta with respect to time, di ba alam natin to? So, these are just our linear and angular accelerations respectively. Okay? O, ayan siya. So, tigil na muna tayo dyan, no? Ayan yung unang equation natin. Ngayon, punta naman tayo dun sa forces. So, di ba, Ft is equal to Fg sin theta. Or that is negative mg sin theta. So, negative kasi pababa yung acceleration due to gravity, di ba? We also know, di ba, that Ft is equal to ma. Ngayon, etong dalawang equation na to can be equated. So, that is ma is equal to negative mg sin theta. So, we can cancel the m at both sides, no? So, that will be a is equal to negative g sin theta. After nyan, pwede tayong gumamit ng tinatawag na small angle approximations wherein if we have a very small angle, yung theta natin is just equal to our sin theta. So, pakilabas onte yung mga calcu, no? So, pause nyo muna yung video kung wala pa kayong calcu sa harap nyo. So, okay na ba? O, sige game. So, ganito gagawin natin ha. Let's say meron tayong angle na 5 degrees. So, maliit to, di ba? Ngayon, convert natin yan to radians. So, input nyo, 5 times pi over 180. So, makukuha nyo is 0.087266. Tama? Ngayon, gawin nyo, take the sine of 5 degrees. So, makukuha nyo naman is 0.087156. So, magkalapit lang yun, di ba? So, we can say that theta is approximately equal to our sine theta. Therefore, A is just equal to negative g theta na lang. Ngayon, etong A equal to L alpha and etong A equal to negative g theta is pwede nating i-equate. Pag ginawa natin yan, then L alpha is equal to negative g theta. Next thing that we do is balik tayo dun sa equation for acceleration sa simple harmonic motion. So that is A equal to negative omega squared x. So ito, gawin lang nating angular instead of linear. So to do that, no, let us use the relationship ng angular and linear quantities natin. So yung A natin is just L alpha, yung x naman is just L theta. Substituting, ito yung magiging equation natin. So we can just cancel out the L at both sides. So our equation is alpha equal to negative omega squared theta. Ngayon, palitan natin yung alpha dito sa equation natin sa right. So we have here negative L omega squared theta equal to negative g theta. Rewrite na lang natin yan, no? So our omega is the square root of g over L. Next, recall that our period is just 2 pi over omega. So substituting omega by square root of g over L, tas ayusin lang natin to, no? So our period will then be 2 pi square root of L over g. Tapos pwede din nating makuha yung frequency, di ba? Kasi that is just the reciprocal ng period. So that is 1 over 2 pi square root of g over L. So sagot lang tayo ng isang example. So a geologist uses a simple pendulum that has a length of 37.10 centimeters and a frequency of 0.8190 Hz at a particular location on the Earth. So what is the acceleration due to gravity at this location? So we are to determine our acceleration due to gravity g. To do that, gamitin natin itong equation for frequency. So rewrite lang natin siya para makuha natin itong equation for g. So we know the value of f and the value of L. So direct substitution na lang to, no? So substituting values, we get 9.8243 meters per second squared. So ayun na yung sagot natin. Okay? So this is all for this video lecture, no? So I hope meron naman kayong natutunan. So ayun lang. Bye-bye. Thank you.